In May, Boys and Girls Clubs of the Midlands presented On the Road. They brought in Dennis Edwards and the Temptations Review for a performance at Baxter Arena.
Well, that night, the Morning Blend helped raise money for programs by auctioning an appearance on the show. I was there when Katie Weitz placed that winning bid.
You know what? So she's here. She joins us with her daughter Eloise to talk about one of the causes they care a lot about. Thanks for stopping by. Good to see you guys.
Hi, nice to see you.
Welcome to the Blend here.
Eloise says hello.
Hello, Omaha.
That's awesome.
Listen, you guys are literally driving people to the polls this year. Explain, what are you guys doing?
Well, Warren Buffett was thinking about how democracy is not a spectator sport and what could he do besides vote himself. And he realized there are folks out there who need help getting to the polls. And so he has rented Ollie the trolley, and he's going to be on the trolley all day long.
He will be on the trolley
all day long. Driving folks to and from. So it's the 32-person Ollie the trolley. So we're going to get significantly more than 10 people to the polls, I think.
In fact, you're talking about Warren Buffett. We have a little bit of sound from him talking about Drive to Vote. So let's take a listen.
I am pledging personally that on November 8th, no matter how cold, no matter how snowy, no matter how rainy, icy, whatever it may be, I'm going to take at least 10 people to the polls who might otherwise have difficulty getting there. Maybe they have transportation difficulties, whatever it may be.
So that's Warren. We all know who he's voting for, but that's not the point of this. He's taking Democrats, he's taking Republicans. He just wants to get word out about the vote.
Right. It's really important that this is about everybody using their right to vote this November.
As you said, democracy is not a spectator sport. You know, and I've got people, a number of relatives who served in the military, and I sort of feel like that's one of the things that, as an American, I hold most dear, because I understand that they fought for that, for all of us. How could Warren's involvement in this impact turnout? I mean, is it even possible to forecast that, Katie?
Oh, it's we don't really know, but we do know that already 931 people have signed up to drive people to the polls this November, and in addition, people have pledged to vote. This is really getting a lot of publicity around registration. So the Nebraska Civic Engagement Table is working with 20 organizations to register people in a nonpartisan way, absolutely nonpartisan. And you know, Warren really would like us to have the highest turnout of any district in the United States. So it will take a lot of work. We need about 50,000 more people to vote than voted last time.
It's Douglas and Sarpy counties, the district.
A little bit of Sarpy County, but all of Douglas County.
All of Douglas.
Yeah, District 2.
Yeah, and they've made it easy because you basically go to the website, right? Let's go to the website, and there's 3 buttons to choose from. Would you walk us through the buttons?
Sure. The first one is, Warren, I promise to vote. And when you click on that button, what happens is we make sure you're registered to vote, and if you're not, we send you a link to make sure you get registered to vote. It also just builds the momentum around everybody getting ready to vote November 8th. The next one is, Warren, I need a ride. And that's if you don't have a way to get to the polls. And we expect that people don't necessarily know that until closer to the date, but we do already have about 17 people signed up. And then finally, Warren, I'd like to drive. And this is a really great option because we all know that participating in democracy, it's more than just voting. It's helping your neighbors vote. It's about learning about the candidates and the issues and talking to each other and really being a democracy of the people, by the people, for the people.
Eloise is nodding this whole time. You're not old enough to vote yet, but you still think voting is important. Why?
Because if you don't vote, then people might choose someone for the jobs not wisely. And
Yes.
Well, I'll
Some
tell
we
you.
don't agree with.
Right, I'll tell you what, that first link up there, I've got a family member I'm going to send that to, a family member who hasn't voted, and I'm going to send that link to them, okay? So we'll do that. One of the other things that you guys are helping out with is Maha Music Festival. We're going to be talking about that coming up here in a second. How are you involved with that, as well as Warren? Warren's involved in that too.
Well, our family's been involved, the Weitz family's been involved with Maha Music Festival since its inception, and this year we're super excited because knowing that Maha reaches so many people and so many engaged and active people, we're going to have a visit from Warren himself to encourage everybody there to register to vote.
So he's introducing a band.
He is introducing a
chatting
band.
from the stage
He
a bit with
is.
the audience. Oh,
Yes.
fun. Like thousands of people there hanging out, and here comes Warren.
Right, exactly.
Like just the optics of that to me are pretty funny.
Right, he's not only promoting this, but he's just having a lot of fun with it too.
Absolutely,
you know? That's what we love
absolutely.
about Warren.
You support so many organizations, Katie. I was looking at the things which you're passionate about, and it's just amazing to me how involved you are. But there's a between the Humane Society, Boys and Girls Clubs of the Midlands, I mean, all these things. But then the D2 Center was something that we haven't talked about on the show, but I feel like it's really important. So would you give us a word about what they do?
Sure. The D2 Center is a wonderful organization that works with 15 to 21-year-olds who have disengaged or dropped out of school. And what they do is once they do an intake, they figure out how many credits they need and what kind of supports they need in order to finish and graduate, finish high school and graduate. And then even beyond that, the D2 Center has folks who will work with them to get them into a career or a job. So for kids who maybe just don't fit in a traditional high school or have had an event in their life that have prevented them from having a continuous path in high school, or kids who just have been, fallen out of the system, they can connect to the D2 Center and get re-engaged.
Well, whether it's D2 or Maha Music Festival or getting people to vote, thank you for your service. And I know you have a lot of other causes that you're passionate about. And so thanks for coming on and talking about some of those this morning.
Raising your daughter in that image too. I feel like a lot of parents take pride in that. Eloise, it's great to meet you.
Great to
And
meet
good
Have
luck
an
at
awesome
school.
school year. Okay. Katie, thank you.
Thank you so much.
And thank you for bidding.
Right, no kidding. So
She was very generous that night.
She was. Katie and Eloise, they just had a chance to highlight some of their